and it is on this, our third episode of The Cosmic Egg, that I get to introduce you to a man known only as the Channeler. Now, many of our audience members who are over 40 may know what a channeler is and what they do. Those under 40 may not know what the term. Channeling was most popular, I think, in the 1980s, but not beyond that. That's kind of when it peaked out in the 1980s. Channeling entails a person who supposedly has the ability to use their own body as an empty vessel in which they can invoke a benevolent spirit to temporarily talk through them, which is very interesting. Anyway, but I haven't heard too much of that lately, so I thought it'd be nice to get someone on the show, and there's no one better than the Channeler. I can tell you this one. This man is very well known and has been around for quite a few decades. So he certainly knows his stuff in the area of channeling. The Channeler is doing right now. He's doing whatever it is he does to get ready for a spirit to talk through him or to take over his body or whatever. And I'll get the okay to go in and question whatever spirit I get, I guess, and once I get the green light from his assistants. If anything goes wrong, his assistants are also trained to get things back under control. So if anything should go wrong, I'm not sure what could go wrong on such a thing like this. So as I say, I'm just waiting for the green light to go in. Hi, my name is Mike. Who am I speaking to? Hello? Who am I speaking to?
Hello, my name is Stephen Hawking.
The physicist.
Yes.
It's nice to meet you, Stephen. I just have a few questions to ask. Would that be all right?
Yes.
I couldn't help but notice your voice sounds the same. It didn't revert back to your original voice?
No.
Do you still use a wheelchair?
No.
Oh, so you got your legs back. That's not bad.
No.
Oh, sorry, man. Sorry. Hey, why don't we go on with the questions? What is it like in the spirit world? Can you describe it? What does it look like?
Shit.
Really?
Yes.
Well, what kind of things would I expect to see there?
Dead animals. And cat excretion.
Are you for real?
Let's take drugs.
What?
Let's take drugs.
Now? Ooh, while you're in that body. No, absolutely not.
Fuck you.
That isn't your body to abuse.
Shut the fuck up.
We're off topic. Stephen, what kind of things do you like to do in the spirit world?
I like killing insects with a magnifying glass.
Right. Yeah. Make any new scientific breakthroughs lately, Steve?
Dickwad. Retard.
Hey.
I like
Can you
touching
stop
myself.
doing that?
Gets me horny.
I told you, it's not your body to abuse. I'm going to be honest with you. I don't believe you. I don't believe you're Stephen Hawking. I don't believe you are who you say you are. So why don't you tell me who you are? Okay? Why don't you tell me who you are? All right. You've left me no choice. Can I get the assistants in here? Are they able to help me here?
The power of Christ compels you! 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 The power of Christ compels you!
Now, who are you? What is your name?
Michael Jackson.
Michael who?
Michael Jackson. I can't believe you never heard of me. I'm a very popular entertainer.
No, I've heard of you. Michael, why were you impersonating Stephen Hawking?
I can't quite say.
Okay, never mind. After you crossed over, did you meet others?
Yes. They manhandled me very roughly. They enjoy it. That's happened many times.
I'm not afraid to say it.
I can't sleep at night.
Michael, now that you've crossed over, a lot of people would like to put a certain question to rest. Is it all right if we do that now?
Absolutely, yes.
Thank you. Are you attracted to children?
In a pure, loving, fun way.
What would you like to say to all the parents whose children have stayed at your Neverland Ranch or your other residences?
I slept on the floor.
Hey, whoa! Hey, what are you doing? No, I told you, that's not your body to abuse.
It's very swollen.
Yeah, I see that.
Beat it. Beat it.
Does it smell good enough for you in there?
Mike, if you're not going to help us, I don't see any need to continue with this interview.
No. Talk like this.
Michael, do people have children in the spirit world?
No. Talk like this.
Where do you spend most of your time?
In a mental institution.
Right. Okay. I think this is all the questions I have today. Thank you very much for your time, Michael. Perhaps we'll meet again sometime.
I'm a vegetarian and I don't drink.
Thank you both for all your help. I think that's all for today. Please thank the channeler for us and tell him we'd love to have him back on the show. That was pretty incredible. Thanks. Okay, bye. Okay, and that's it for the channeler. I'm hoping he'll come back and we'll have him again on the show. And let's continue on. You're on The Cosmic Egg. All right, welcome to Crime Time. Time for crime. Always time for crime. Okay. Hey, this week we're going to pick up where we left off on the first episode regarding mass and spree murder. And today we're going to talk a little bit about how to recognize it in friends, family, acquaintances, co-workers, anybody. Right off the bat, I can tell you there is no surefire way to say that anybody is going to actually commit mass or spree murder, even if they've written it down or made a video about it. Certainly they could be charged and would probably be found guilty of conspiring to commit a mass murder or a spree murder, but whether they actually would do it or not, that we'll never know in that sort of case. So the most important thing is, if you're suspecting it from a family member, from a family member's boyfriend or girlfriend that you're suspicious of, what you want to do is never jump to conclusions. So there's a few things to watch for if you think somebody or somebody you know could be a potential for mass or spree murder, like just a bomb ready to blow. There are many reasons behind a mass murder, and this could be a personal, just a breakup between a boyfriend and a girlfriend. He goes out and takes it out on society. So the reasons behind a mass murder isn't always about society. It could be about a girl. But obviously, so you want to keep an open mind at all points during this. The first thing to discern is who you're talking about, what kind of profession they have, what kind of background, what kind of schooling. If they're a high degree, a PhD or something, then that could be something's up, because this is a person who's trained to have a pretty darn good focus. Like, for example, you have James Holmes, who was a student and just kind of fell into some sort of weird insanity and broke down. There were lots of signals from him that things were going wrong. But if you know somebody, and this is another thing, if you know somebody really well, a family member or someone, then it's going to be even harder. Parents never see their children as murderers. Even if a child is caught as a serial murderer in his 20s, the parents often don't believe it and believe they were set up right to the end. The most difficult thing for someone to do is to see their best friend or a family member especially as someone, as a serial murderer, a spree murderer, a murderer at all, even a murderer of a single person or a rapist. It's just not. You don't see that in them, and often you just you don't agree with it, and so it's almost impossible to tell if you're the parent of a child whether that person's going to be a spree murderer, because your mind will not accept it. So that's a big thing to consider too. You got to go by the cold hard facts and stuff like that. First of all, how old are they, right? What kind of person are we dealing with? Like I said, if we're dealing with James Holmes, who did the Batman theater, then this is a guy who was heading for a PhD and is just fallen through into insanity. There was lots of red flags with that guy. But like I say, if you know them, if they're friends of yours, you don't see just how far a person might be able to go. It's impossible to say that he's been acting strange. I suspect he might go out and shoot 200-300 people in a theater. It just doesn't come to your mind, right? So, but if you think somebody's breaking down, now this could be, now most often when people break down into this sort of thing, or if they're breaking down, it usually ends up in suicide. Not them going out and taking out other people and then taking themselves out. But then there's also those that go out and take other people out and intend to die themselves. So you get the both. But and the majority of the time they just go out and kill themselves. Things aren't going well for them. So there's always that thought too. This, often it's a cry for help and stuff, and there's a little bit of anger, and then they do the spree or mass murder. So let's put it this way. Look for signs of withdrawing. If your child is withdrawing, and first of all, let's look at them as a child or a teen. If they are withdrawing, there could be reasons, many reasons that they're withdrawing. It could be a breakup with a girlfriend. It could be a rejection from someone they liked a lot. It could be problems with peers or friends that went down. There could be a lot of different things when it comes to teens that could be bothering them. So just them withdrawing isn't always something that you need to jump up and get all too worried about. It's how long they withdraw for. Is this a period of months? Do they come out of it? Give it a while. It's going to take some time if something happened in their life. If you know of a breakup or whatever, so you're there to support, and it could take a long time. It could take a while to get over something like that and to move on. But if there's no sign of why they're doing it, nothing, then you want to keep a closer eye. And then if they are withdrawing, what are they doing with their time? Are they on the internet? And if they are, what are they doing? Playing games all the time? Well, if it's always games, what kind of games? If it is violent games, well, they don't. It's been proven they don't lead to physical violence. So that's not always a good indicator, but it is a check mark. Is it violent? Does he love the shooting and stuff? Is he going overboard with it, starting to dress like the characters? You're kind of looking for things to be going overboard. Too much of something. Overkill. Posters and just dressing up like characters. Collecting firearms is another one, or weapons, or collecting books on that. How to do bombs, or anything like that. Or collecting materials that could be used for explosives. You're going to have to kind of do a little bit of snooping a little bit, not enough to make yourself too guilty, leave them to their privacy, but still, if you're suspicious of something, you're going to want to know what is going on and just stop in to nip it in the bud for sure before they hurt someone else or themselves. That's the last thing anybody wants. If they are withdrawing from friends, that's really serious. If they have best friends, what kind of falling out did they have? If there's no known falling out, or you can't get their friends to tell you, which is another good thing, you can ask their friends, are they being bullied at school? Why do you think they're acting this way? They might indulge some information, helpful information to you. If someone's, if they're withdrawing from friends, that's always very serious. There has to be a reason. If there's no apparent reason, they're withdrawing from everybody in the entire world, except an online world, that is serious, and intervention should come. It doesn't mean they're going to commit mass or spree murder, but certainly they're going to need counseling. There's something going terribly wrong, and it's just going to get worse. It's best to nip it in the bud and try to set something up and begin that process. Now, with older people, that is a huge red flag. That means there's something very serious, even more so. If somebody's in their 20s and all of a sudden they're not going around their regular friends and there's no reason for it, they're just dropping off the face of the earth into their own world, bad news. Bad news. Again, if you're the parent of someone who's that age and living on their own or whatever, or still living at home or whatever the case may be, that's a big red flag that you should try to intervene, get to find out what's happening, visit them, and try to find out what's happening. try to call their friends, see what do they think it might be, and then get that ball rolling. Because yeah, someone dropping their friends is a big deal. Collection, and what are they collecting? What are they watching? What kind of movies? Are they watching a particular movie over and over? You're watching for things to stand out and be repetitive. And now the next topic that's important: philosophy, religion. Usually when a person has a spree murder thing, if it isn't romantic, if it isn't anger at the world, or bullying, it could be in a category all of its own. Bullying is another and a major reason why a lot of these kids will go out and just seek havoc on the world. They're inspired by other people who do it, and they want to put their message out that they're not going to be bullied around, and it's a very selfish act, but like they're kids, and so this is the problem. Stop nipping it in the bud and stopping them before they run off. They run off with things and their emotions, and that's it. Religion and philosophy, two very dangerous territories. There can be underlying anger problems because it's not always a philosophy or religion that's causing it. You could have Anders Breivik, who did the Norway massacre. It's more anger and his inability to get along with people. Then he creates this whole philosophy thing, all based on anger. It's the same with the nail bomber, right? Same thing with the nail bomber in England. The same thing with Ted Kaczynski. He was all, he was expressing himself in certain ways, and this is often how they do it. They're expressing themselves in these violent ways. So philosophies and religion are dangerous because they show somebody with conviction to do something, and if it's a narrow conviction, like all blacks are bad, or all East Indians are bad, or all Muslims are bad, or all Protestants or Catholics are bad. And, once you get into these narrow tunnel visions, like the nail bomber just hated everyone, just, for his ineptitudes or whatever his own problems were, and he was putting it on anybody who wasn't like himself. So any color that wasn't white didn't matter. Just everyone that wasn't like him. If he felt he was heterosexual, then he's against all gays type thing. So you're watching for philosophies, if they're involved in any groups or organizations. What are those groups? What are those organizations? What are they talking about? Watch for religions and philosophies. When they start talking a philosophy or religion, that can often bring about violence as they strike out at certain people, right? And so that's what to watch for there. But these are your primary things. And remember, you can never tell if somebody's going to be a spree murderer. You're just looking for someone who's sinking into bigger levels of depression. Watch for depression, withdrawing from everybody, especially friends. And then, where do they turn their attentions to? That's the key. Okay, so you got the depression and stuff, but how is this going to find outlet? What's leading to a possible mass or spree murder, right? So they need to collect information of some kind to demonstrate that they're going that way. And that's where you kind of step in to say, what kind of organizations, what kind of stuff are you on, sites are you on? Are you collecting information on certain parades or just times when there's going to be big crowds getting together? Because that might show somebody who's waiting to, kill as many people as possible and hit a big parade or something. So you're watching for things that are out of the ordinary and out of order. So collecting too many things on parades for no reason. Why would you want to know about all these things that are going on in the city all of a sudden? It's the all of a sudden part, right? So watch for things like that, and so on and so forth. And I hope you've enjoyed this time on Crime Time. Time for crime. Always time for crime. Hey everyone, a little closing surprise here on Crime Time. As most of you who know me know, I'm a super avid true crime fan and collector. And I also try to communicate with as many serial killers as I can, the ones that are still alive. And I just got my first, I got a package in from Ted Kaczynski. So I'm going to open that as we talk, and we'll see what's inside. This is actually pretty exciting. I didn't think he was going to write me back. As many as you know, he doesn't write.